In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a complete guide on the equipment you need for dungeons, as well as the attributes. The first thing we need to identify is which equipment for which class, but something you need to understand is that there are really only two classes when it comes to equipment. You are either mage or not mage, because anything that's not mage deals damage the exact same way. So first, let's start with anything that's not mage. When looking for the equipment for these classes, we are focusing on two things, damage and speed, and the two attributes that will give us that are speed and dominance. So we know what attributes we want. Now what equipment do we buy? For both classes, no matter what, you want Gauntlet of Contagion because the ability is ridiculously overpowered. And for the other three equipment slots, there are two ways you can go. There's the cheaper option and the more expensive option, with the more expensive option being better. So for the cheaper option, you have a Magma Necklace, Blaze Belt, and Gas Cloak, while the more expensive option is the Molten Necklace, Molten Cloak, and Molten Belt. So once you have bought your Gauntlet of Contagion and three other pieces of gear with the dominance and speed attributes, you need to upgrade them. The way you do this is by buying the exact same piece with one of the attributes you want on it and buying a bunch of them and combining them until you have your desired level. The easiest way to do this is by going to the AH, looking up the equipment piece you are upgrading, and through NEU or SBE, use the search bar to find the attributes you are looking for. Either type it into the NEU one and double click on it, or do lore ... the attribute in SBE. You can also buy attribute shards, but don't do that. That's a waste of money on like everything except Gauntlet of Contagion. When upgrading your equipment, you do it through /attribute menu, and when you do it, make sure the piece you're upgrading is on the left side so it doesn't get overwritten. And when upgrading your pieces, you want to spend money on it for sure, but don't go crazy if it isn't worth it for you. Like, don't get speed 10 on your Blaze Belt if you only have one Terminator. And if you aren't crazy rich, it's best to stop at 8/8 anyways. Now, the last thing you have to do for your equipment is recombobulate it, as well as putting the wax reforge on it if you are using it with your Terminator, strengthened for anything else. Now for mage. Once again, you want Gauntlet of Contagion, but for the other three pieces, you want an Implosion Belt, a Gas Cloak, preferably Vanquished, and a Molten Necklace. The attributes you are looking for are dominance and mana pool for the most possible damage, and then you upgrade them the exact same way as you would for not mage. And finally, you want to recom all your pieces and put the strengthened reforge on them. Well, that was fun. If anyone was wondering, this information was verified by the number 2 archer and number 2 mage on the entire server, so I hope it helps you in some way. Okay, bye gamers, subscribe.